The Incredible Growing Gums of Barnaby Buzzle. Barnaby Buzzle lived in a house that was as gray as a wet Sunday. His only companion was Aunt Spiker-Snap, a woman who looked as though she had been carved out of a very sour crabapple. She hated joy, she hated singing, but most of all, she hated sweets. Sugar turns the brain to mush, she would bark, waving a bony finger at Barnaby while he scrubbed the cold stone floors. One Tuesday, while dusting the cobwebs in the drafty attic, Barnaby found something hidden behind a stack of moth-eaten blankets. It was a small, neon purple tin that seemed to hum with a secret energy. The label, written in swirling gold letters, read, "Fizz-Whizzlers, the gum that grows with you." Barnaby's heart did a little somersault. He didn't wait a single second. He popped 3 pieces of the shimmering gum into his mouth. Pop, crackle, zing! The gum didn't just taste like strawberries. It tasted like a summer holiday and a firework display all at once. Suddenly, Barnaby felt a strange, fizzy sensation in his knees. His toes began to tingle like they were being tickled by invisible feathers. His socks, which were already a bit small, felt remarkably tight. Before he could say scrumptious, Barnaby shot upward like a weed in a rainstorm. His head bumped against the heavy oak rafters, and his arms grew as long and bendy as garden hoses. He wasn't just tall, he was colossal. He looked down at his feet, which were now miles away at the bottom of his incredibly long, spindly legs. Downstairs, Aunt Spiker-Snap heard the rafters groaning. She marched to the attic door and flung it open. Her eyes nearly popped out of her head. "What is this wretched nonsense?" she shrieked, her face turning a violent shade of purple. "You've grown far too much for this house, you untidy boy. You're taking up all the air and stretching the wallpaper. I won't have it." She disappeared for a moment and returned with a pair of rusty, jagged head shears. Clack, clack, clack went the blades. "Hold still, Barnaby," she cackled, a wicked glint in her eye. "I'll just take a few feet off the top and a yard off the bottom. You'll be back to a manageable, miserable size in no time." Barnaby trembled from his head all the way down to his distant toes. He didn't want to be pruned like a rosebush. He chewed the Fizz-Whizzlers faster and faster, the flavor exploding in his mouth. He took a deep, desperate breath, filled his now giant lungs with air, and blew with every bit of strength he had. A magnificent pink bubble emerged. It grew and grew, shimmering with all the colors of a secret rainbow. It was bigger than a basketball, bigger than a beanbag, bigger than Aunt Spiker-Snap's entire wardrobe. It was a glowing, sticky sphere of neon sweetness that smelled of pure magic. Just as the shears snapped shut on the very air where his ankles had been, the bubble lifted Barnaby off the floor. "Come back here, you sugary hooligan," Aunt Spiker-Snap screamed. But it was too late. Barnaby floated right through the open attic skylight, his long, wobbly legs trailing behind him like the ribbons on a very tall kite. Higher and higher he went, past the chimneys and the confused crows, leaving the gray house far behind. He drifted until he reached a land where the clouds were made of fluffy marshmallow and the rain was sweet lemon soda. Barnaby Buzzle smiled, drifting through the candy-colored sky, the tallest and happiest boy in the whole wide world.